No changes in the 8th. And in today's 9th race, scratch 4, First Deputy, and 9, Color Me Patsy. Scratch numbers 4 and 9. Note that number 1, Tapazirans, runs with 2 bar shoes again. 2 bar shoes again on the 1. And a rider change will be announced for number 2, Bronx Bomber. Jockey change to be announced for the 2, Bronx Bomber. Main track is fast. First race today is at 12:20. Up next, Talking Horses.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Talking Horses. He is Anthony Stabile. I'm Andy Serling. As we get ready for the Cigar Mile weekend to come.
Yeah, can't wait for tomorrow.
Big day of racing tomorrow, of course. Got 9 races today as well. And you, if you're not a member of NYRA Bets, head on over. NYRABets.com. Use the promo code MATCH200 and we will match for $200 of your initial deposit. Now, that's American Revolution. You know, it's funny, I was thinking about this yesterday in the show. I got a question for you off the top of your head.
Right.
It's American Revolution, of course, won the Cigar Mile last year. What horse came out of the Cigar Mile last year to have a big year? Did any? And if so, who was it?
The 4th place horse.
This is a trivia question a lot of people would not get. Because American Revolution, while he didn't have a bad year, he only ran 3 times, and obviously a bit of a disappointment.
Olympiad.
What?
Olympiad.
Olympiad, yeah.
3rd or 4th?
4th, I want to
right?
say. Following Sea, unfortunately, never ran.
I couldn't think of his name, the
Was
horse on a rail.
Plainsman 3rd?
Plainsman was 3rd. Very
Plainsman
good.
did not. Nick Hammer.
He claimed foul on...
Well, he did have a little trouble. I was right not to take him down, but there was legitimate.
I had the winner singled in the pick 6. I was sweating it out.
It was all about you. And
I'm just saying.
He had a bit of a disappointing year.
Yeah, he did.
And I remember after the race, Nick Tamaro said to me that he said the horse that ran really well and could have won was Olympiad.
I remember that too.
It was a rare, wasn't a good ride by Irad.
That's when he...
Very rare, not only, especially in a stake race. So you could probably count the
Irad rode
number.
Olympiad that day?
Yeah, he did.
Wow.
I think he just kind of...
Then he
was a
ripped
little
off
fooled
5 in a
by it.
row.
I was talking about it with Bill Mott, actually, in Saratoga one day. We were talking about it.
He ripped off 5 in a row after that.
Amazing, right?
He stretched him out.
Yeah, he actually ran an interesting race that day. And it's funny, you say, I was thinking how Ginobili showed up in the PPs of the horse. It's interesting, the horse that comes in from California, get her number, beat Ginobili. It was Ginobili's first start since last year's Cigar. And it was only a couple weeks ago, and actually the third place finish there was the Forbidden Kingdom, who was
Mandela
the speed, the very fast,
yeah.
very speedy horse, Richard Mandela. I imagine he was using that race theoretically as a prep for the Malibu. Whether or not he's going to run in there remains to be seen, a race that I know Taba is focusing on. Middle pick 4, race number 3 of our 9-race card. We also have a trifecta, 10% bonus on all tries. I got to opt in for that on my NYRA Bets account. I got to get to work on that right now. It's easy as can be. We also have Cigar Mile Challenge. You have until 5 o'clock today. $3,000 buy-in, all cash prizes, and we will seed that pool with $5,000. You can play online. You can also play on track. Come here for the Cigar Mile card. Wait, no, wrong one.
Toys for Tots, folks. Don't forget about that. Tomorrow,
yes, that's
Cigar Mile Day.
Bring a wrap toy. You can also make a donation.
Yes. I always forget the toy. I give a donation. Anyway,
you don't want to. No, what it is you don't want to give away any of your toys. So don't.
No, it has to be new and unwrapped. If you bring a toy, I play with all my toys. I wish I had. Listen, I had every WWE.
I'm looking at the promotions here. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I had every WWE figurine and every He-Man thing ever made. I wish I kept all of them in a box. Believe me, and not played with them.
I'm going to call Phyllis. I'm guessing
Hundreds
you're still.
of thousands of dollars.
I'm guessing you're still playing with them, but whatever. I'll check in with Phyllis.
This is a fantastic every year. Every year, I mean, since I'm a kid, I remember coming here and seeing the Marines and everything. So
make you a little nervous when you were a kid?
Yeah, I always enjoyed it. I always knew they were here for good.
Have you toned down your act a little bit?
Yeah.
You should have seen Anthony's act when he was a teenager.
I was a little
Anyhow, finally, last but not least, 12 to 4:30, our action from here, and we'll also be showing Tampa as well.
Andy and I have a bevy of TVs in here. You know, Veterans Beach just tried to go 2 turns at Tampa on Wednesday. He got beat the last 2 jumps.
Really?
Yeah, just got beat. He was on a lead. It was a 3-length lead.
Try 2-run turns here.
I don't remember that.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Well, as you would say, that what do you call him, an idiot? Christophe Clement? He never stretched him out.
He is an idiot. But, you know, it's funny that he texted me. He's in France.
Yes.
Yeah, I went down to see him in the paddock, and he wasn't there. In case you told me he was in France. Of course, he has family there.
But hard to see him in the paddock if he's in France.
But he texted me after the race. Actually,
wow.
Yeah.
That's a humble brag right there.
No, you know what? No, you know what? Seriously, what it really shows is how pathetic the guy's life is. I mean, it was like
I have Phil texting from Howard Beach. You have the guy texting from France.
8:30 over, and he's in France, and he's texting an idiot like me. You think the guy could find something better to do over there? I think he's at Deauville because he's at the sale, the ARCA sale.
Correct.
So I don't think he's in Paris.
I think the sale's at Tattersalls now.
I think the sale's in Deauville.
Did they move? Okay.
But I could be wrong.
I know Frank Antonacci was at Tattersalls over the weekend.
I thought Acacia told me Deauville, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she was wrong. Anyhow, maybe I misunderstood.
There's a chance you're wrong. I doubt Acacia's wrong.
Mistook it as Deauville. Maybe she said Tattersall and I thought it was Deauville. Anyhow.
Don't roll your eyes at me, buddy. I'm just telling you where Antonacci was.
Okay. Race number 1. Today's card. Really, our Rosie Diamonds.
Yeah, I tried it last time at the mile when they scratched the entry, and now I will try the cutback.
Seriously?
Yeah.
How's this horse going to win? She's
hoping,
5-2 morning line. Wow. There's value in this race if she's anywhere near a morning line. Now. Why would she be betting this race?
Why is Jane McMahon calling me right now? During Talking Horses.
Why is our Rosie
cutting back? I don't know. The blinkers seem to help 2 back. I know the races aren't fast, Andy, but I mean, are any of these fillies that good or that fast? I mean,
no, but she's an unlikely winner here. But okay, fine. All right.
I mean, I wouldn't bet her 2-1.
Well,
don't get me wrong. I wouldn't bet her 2-1.
You picked her, so I don't.
Well, I figured the first time Rudy's going to take money. I figured Irish Empress will take money.
They should be 1/3 of the price of her. Okay, that's fine. So we'll start out with the horse I picked on top. We'll show the start and the finish of Irish Empress's race. She had legit trouble. You're going to see her right in there, number 6 horse. See her sort of shuffling back there. And you watch the start and broke about 3/4 of a length slow, but this horse got bumped pretty hard. We'll show the head-on of that if we can get to it, number 6. Though the 8 comes over, the 7 kind of slams into her on a pinball
give her
right
good,
there.
Give her a good tip check.
So that was legit, and she did stay off the inside. The rail was probably dead on November 19th, a good chance. And I don't think this was a particularly strong field. But one thing I'd say about the race was the pace kind of held together in here. And I thought she did a little bit of running. You see her there on the 2 paths. She actually got a nice ride from Jorge.
This was the Maggie Exacta.
Yeah, but I thought she ran fairly well, all things considered. And I just thought she might be the logical one in here after that bad start, give her another chance to maiden claimers. But follow the Fed. We'll show you a stat for Rudy Rodriguez after this replay. I thought follow the Fed. Rudy's got great numbers off the claim, but this horse does come out of a lousy field, so I don't know if this horse can run much.
Lousy field didn't do any running, right?
Yeah. I don't think our Rosa Diamond's any good, but okay. I mean, maybe I miscycled about her. I didn't see it, obviously. Rudy's got big numbers off the claim. He's 8 for 22 overall. He's 6 for 16 with sprinters, with maidens off the claim on the dirt. I actually thought the Greg DePrima horse on the outside wasn't completely impossible.
Put up there.
Comes out of a race against better. So I would be avoiding the 3. You have the 3 on top, and I prefer the 4 or the 1 in this race. Race number 2. What's going on here?
The deuce.
I think I got honey all over my racing form.
Honey? Oh, from your tea?
Yeah.
I went to, I did not like any of the runners in here, so I went to the Half the Reggae Music Man, the number 6, Red Stripe Princess. For Patty Reynolds, Jose Gomez.
Figure this horse was good. They'd be running this horse in a 40 claimer. The problem with the Half the Reggae Music Man is it doesn't really tell the story. It's Reggae Music Man and 5 horses that couldn't
can't
outrun
run.
and go.
I know.
You're pointing out the one that could run, and you're not pointing out the others.
I'm also pointing out the most recent.
Yeah, but the others were bad. It doesn't mean that suddenly she's going to have good foals. It's a central banker who, other than Reggae Music Man, who is a McLean's Music, not surprisingly. It's probably the second best sire that you would see from the dams. I've got her second in there, but I know Laughter's had her chances, but she's probably going to win this race. We'll take a look at her last race, which was she was running against a significantly better field. And I wanted to show the start in the race. You're going to see her sort of drop back severely. I mean, she ends up back in last. And this is a horse who can be in front. Now, I'm not saying she would have been in front in this race, but you want to see what happened to her, the number 7. She didn't stumble. I don't know what that was. That's why I wanted to show it. It wasn't a stumble.
I would say awkward start.
She veered out. It was kind of weird.
Yeah.
She did not stumble. I don't know why they wrote stumble in there, because that's not a stumble. She sort of veered out. I watched it a few times, and she did not stumble. But that was also a field that was significantly better than
there's gorillas in
horses,
there compared to this race. I understand
I just think you look at this race, and I just think she'll probably win it.
No, Wine Goddess. Wine Goddess, I know it was in the mud. It was over at Belmont in the mud, and Vallelujah was a big price.
She was awful that day. She didn't do any running at all.
It was also her debut. She had to catch a wet track.
Okay.
Now
maybe she likes a wet track.
Maybe she doesn't.
Maybe she does.
Maybe she doesn't.
Maybe it doesn't make any difference, like 95% of the horses
Okay.
run.
That's fine. It was her debut. She's run twice since. She's had a little bit of a break. I mean...
Well, you got to pick it's a Cloceris horse. If you don't have at least one Cloceris horse in the top 2 in the course of a week, I think you're afraid you're going to get, like, spun into outer space or something. I get it. I think the one's going to win. She's also 4 to 5 in the morning line.
Yeah.
I get it. But to me, I'm not going to bet against her. I think she's way the horse to beat here. Race number 3 is a very problematic race. And it's funny because I hadn't made picks this race, and I was teasing David Aragona because I knew he picked Villa Regia. And I said, I just can't pick her. I said, I want to take these Lynn Cash horses, but the problem with Villa Regia is, and we'll get, you know what, I have a replay for her. Can we switch to replays and show her a replay? Is that typical?
Anything for you, Andy.
Show her a replay first. Thank you. The problem that I have is, not only did she get a perfect trip to win this race, she was also 1 for 23 going into this race. And now I'm asking a horse who's now 2 for 24 to win 2 straight races.
A maiden 10 at Colonial was her lone win coming in, and it took her a dozen,
but look who she's running against.
Starts.
I mean,
listen.
Princess Pinky, who really isn't a dirt horse. She's got one sort of phony dirt fig, but most of her dirt figs are nothing special at all.
But aren't they good enough to beat these horses?
She has a chance.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I picked her second. I'm not a
I put her on top just for that. I didn't want to take the shipper, and I felt like she has enough figs.
The problem with her is that she's going to be a short price based on turf races, not dirt races. So you're getting the worst of it. She's no better than anybody in here. And we'll take a look at Moonshin winning 2 back. I mean, sure, Moonshin can win this race. and her race 2 back would win this race. But she's got to get a mile today. She's not the speed because Exfiltration's in here, Raffinity's in here. So it's not like she figures to sort of waltz on the front end in this race. And then she runs last time and just absolutely stunk the joint up. And he claimed her for a quarter, and they're running for 14,000. So she's about as negative as you can find.
I was curious to see how they utilize the entry in here because they both have speed. I would imagine
the 1A's probably going to be in front of Raffinity.
Yeah, I would imagine that's what they're going to do.
And
right?
Raffinity's another horse that's hard to take, claimed for 25,000. Last time I was basically eased after running, reasonably okay 2 races back. I can't trust her. And
I didn't want any of the horses on top anyway that come off of wins. Because we talk about this. Big Bean Christine is the exception to the rule. She got the job done yesterday.
It's not the exception to the rules. A lot of those horses come back and win.
But they're the exception to the rule.
I disagree with you.
You think more of them win than don't?
No, I don't think more. But I don't think they necessarily underperform based on their odds. A lot of these horses that are kind of these proven loser types, but that consistently run races fast enough to compete, win a maiden race, they come back and win the next time.
Right, and you more so see it with the maiden to the next time as opposed to the horses that have won. Horses like Villareggio who go 8, 12 starts between races.
All I know is the guy shipped horses here, and a lot of them have run okay.
She's a very logical. She's very
run
logical
badly, but she's
very logical.
Yeah, I mean, she's a new face in a race where I'm sick of these, and
and
I'll say one thing about her:
last race yesterday.
She's not a mad negative drop down. Where are they supposed to run her? Now she's running hours at 3. She's running where she belongs.
Absolutely.
Everybody else a dump job, and Princess Pinky, fine, she can win. But I got her second.
I don't love anybody, and I'm just
Yeah, no, it's the more I looked at it, the more I kept looking through it.
The truth of the matter is, if Manchin shows up, if Manchin can get a mile, and you can excuse the last race, she's supposed to beat these horses. But how can you trust her? Can't trust her.
No, I can't trust her at all.
But if she runs her race, she's supposed to win.
Right, but she runs her last race, she's going to be
get
last.
Buried.
Right. So I'm not.
No hill. There's like the other. There was like the 7th race. There's not the hill you're going to die on. Is this?
No, I'm not. I don't have a strong opinion in here. Just didn't want to take the shortest prices. Race number 4. Race number 4 looked like a 2-horse race to me. You didn't see it that way, but apparently we saw different races here. And I think one of the things you have to ask yourself about this race is, what do you do with True Empress?
Where was that from? Where did that come from?
No, but she was off the claim for Carlos. It was first time for Carlos Martin. She runs her last race. Pretty unlikely she's going to lose this race. I agree.
If she runs her last race, she will win this race. These horses got to jump up 5-6 lengths to beat her.
She'll probably win if she runs it.
But how can you trust? I mean, I know it was off the claim for Carlos. It was on the. It was. See, don't necessarily think that was on the race. She went from the open 16-2 life against older horses to the straight quarter.
This was on a massive race. This was crazy how well this horse ran last time. She was eligible for $1.03 lifetime, and she ran against open claimers.
No, she ran against 3-year-olds. This is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, I see.
It's loud.
Better horses she was running against. Better horse than Handle the Truth?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
these are better horses than Handle the Truth. Trade secret? Absolutely.
But how can you take her? She's going to be close to even money. Okay. Off of the one fig. I mean, how can you it's hard to take her off the one fig,
I'm not sure she's going to be close to even, probably 8 to 5-ish where David put her. Well, I'm not against her. I just don't need to bet her as the favorite, and I think the Cupid's Girl is a viable option. I mean, Cupid's Girl lost to Mom's Got to Run, who's not great, but she's okay. And she's run 3 straight figs in the mid to high 60s for Jimmy Ryerson. So she's not that far off of True Empress. So if she runs her better race and True Empress runs a few lengths worse based on the figure, she's going to be right there. And I thought she was the only horse you could realistically take. I mean, we'll show I'm Buzzy. I mean, I know you got to pick Mitch's horses. I got to tell you something about this horse. This horse is not a dirt horse. Now you're going to say, well, I don't know. She won 2 back in the dirt. She was second to Smokey Road. Came back with a big race.
I personally think she's a sprinter.
Right,
and this is a big fig. This is a big fig. This is the win.
I'll be very, very, very surprised if this horse wins today.
Why?
Because I don't believe in her races. I don't believe just because Smokey Road won last time that she ran a good race last time. And sorry, we have a disagreement about Mitch. My ROI with Mitch is probably about $7 for every $2 I bet. Maybe it's higher. You pick them all.
But we're talking about a guy that makes it about him. So you have a $7 ROI with Mitch. Congratulations.
No, you're the one yesterday who made a comment about it. I don't make it about myself. You do. But forgetting about that, I think you pick a lot of Mitch Friedman horses. And I know there's going to be something going on at Aqueduct that we can't talk about today. Something very, very hidden going on at Aqueduct today. Some very big secret happening here at Aqueduct. And you just had to pick Mitch Friedman. But I don't think this horse has a prayer to win.
Okay.
I don't think this horse is good enough. I really don't.
Okay.
I mean, I'll put it this way. Beating Classic Lynn ain't beating this field.
I don't disagree with that.
You know,
I don't disagree with that.
I'm not going to take it. And the problem is this horse has never, I shouldn't say never. It's never, I'm sorry.
She's never run an intended dirt
in a
race.
scheduled dirt race.
Yeah.
And those kind of horses usually underperform. Race number 5. So this is a race that I didn't think there was a possibility that you could make a realistic pick of anybody besides the 2 and 3. So I'm going to hold off the excitement of Anthony explaining how the 6 is going to win, and we'll start out with actual contenders here with Catching Cupid. And I preferred Catching Cupid because he would be forward in here, and we'll show his race 2 back when he won quite easily, and I just think he was in against a much tougher field last time. Letty was cranked up to win. He comes back off a little bit of a freshening. I just thought he was going to be tough to beat towards the front end. Maybe he has a little company from Nicholas James, maybe even sits second to that one. The other thing I wanted to say was I thought a lot of people made a mistake of getting overly saying there was a speed track yesterday because Speed appeared to be doing well early in the card. You got to be careful with those because those were races that were dominated by dynamics, not by speed horses. Logical horses, slower pace situations. As the race got more fair later in the day, we saw plenty of horses close, and there are a lot of people saying, oh, you can't close ground today. And I think there's too much of that going around. And I just think Catching Cupid's a logical horse towards the front end. And the other thing is his chief competition, the 2 Hang Tight,
Is from the moon.
that's the problem. We'll show the last race, came up the rail, thought the rail was fine on October 16th. I mean, Speed won the race, and see the horse did break slow, which I think is relevant. But right after that, just stayed on the rail. He didn't run badly. I think he's the other horse in here. It's sort of odd that he would run his best figure after breaking slowly in the race. 3/4 to a length slow and drop back. What do you have against these horses that you picked a ridiculous horse like Valley Shade?
I don't trust either one of them. I didn't want short. I didn't want 2
Why
to
don't
1,
you trust
8 to
them?
5. I just don't. I don't trust them.
Why don't you trust
I'm
them?
not going to trust Hang Tight off the lateral in jail move. And Catching Cupid, I don't think ran that poorly last time to drop right into the quarter.
Got a 69 buyer. He broke his maiden to maiden 40.
Yeah.
You're the one who
But
says,
that's
and
what
I
he's
agree with
supposed
you.
to do, but he ran well enough. See, I'm a
No, he
big believer if you
didn't.
give him the chance. I thought he did. He dueled on the lead and he tired late.
And Charlie understands he's not going to be competitive in the starter allowance races. He's a 70 buyer horse. They're not winning the starter allowance
You know
races.
they're winning the starter allowance race now as opposed to 2 months ago?
No, I don't believe they are. Not for him.
Well, the Phillies.
The
Phillies run the Philly race the race before, and the one fig True Empress ran a 77. The Philly race is the same figs.
Okay, once again, I don't.
I'm
agree.
just telling you what I feel.
Okay, fine.
I don't have to be right.
Okay, what could you possibly like about Valley
He's
Shade?
a fresh gelding. He's second off the layoff. He was cut out to be okay. I don't know what happened.
Was?
Yeah, he was cut out
it
to be
his
okay.
49
first two
buyer
horses
in his
were-
second start?
His first two races were okay. He gave me the half length of Barisi, and then he won his maiden, and then he ran him in 2 stakes races, then went to the turf. He's a fresh gelding, second off a 3-month layoff. I'm just trying to take a little shot against 2 horses that I don't necessarily trust. He's going to be a gigantic price.
Is there a story on this horse?
No, not at all. I knew that was coming. That
No,
was
I
2
mean,
to
it's a
5.
reasonable question because on the PPs,
why
he
is
has
the-
zero chance on
oh,
paper.
okay, well-
Because he has no chance on paper. I mean, that's fine. It's fine. You want to bet him. That's fine. But without a story, I just don't understand how you can like him.
I don't need a story. I just gave you what I felt. I just gave you why I like a horse. Who's going to be the longest shot on the board against 2 horses I don't trust?
For good reason.
Okay.
He is. I mean, okay. I mean, fine. Okay. That's the first 5. Ends the pick 5. Starts the late pick 5. We'll be back to the late pick 4.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Welcome back to Talking Horses. Anthony and Andy, race number 6. I have to imagine that Patty H is probably one of the bigger favorites based on her fig last time in the car. David's only got her 2-1. Oh, he's got her second choice to Secret Love.
Secret Love's a favorite on the morning line. I was a little surprised by that as well.
Secret Love has IRAD, so I guess anything's possible. So we'll show Patty H's race. Actually, I'm going to go back in the time machine. I'm going to show her beating...
Royal Megan?
No, I'm sorry. This is her last race where she finished second. No, she finished second to Mosienko, but Secret Love was fourth in there. I don't like Secret Love. I've got her third because there does see some speed, and I think she was helped by the dynamics of the race last time, and it makes me just wonder about that Iroquois overall. Though obviously, Bank Sting and as well as Betsy Blue both have chances in tomorrow's Go for Wand. Listen, Patty H is the horse to beat. I'm not against her. I have an interest in another horse that I'll make a case for in a little while, but I'm not against Patty H. She's consistently run some good numbers. That is a fig that's a little hard to back up. Customer Experience finishing third. She hasn't run back to it.
No,
now, to be fair, Secret Love does run those kind of numbers. So it worked for some horses, it didn't work for some others. It's a little high overall for Patty H. But the thing is, even if she runs a 79 by her figure, she may well win this race. I see nothing against her. What do we like about Violent
I
Vixen?
kept looking at this race, and I got so frustrated with this race by the time I made a pick for it.
Well, there's a lot
of forward types in here. And I don't think she's fast enough to be in front. I'm just hoping Joelle is able to see how it unfolds with the outside draw. I thought about just taking Secret Love because she looks so obvious with all the speed that she just sits the trip and makes one run, but I think she's gonna be too short for me. So I just took the horse. I thought
she ran almost 2 seconds slower in the other division.
I know.
She beat 2 a T.
I know. I'm very well.
She can't make the lead, and the only races she's been competitive in are races she's made the lead.
I'm just hoping she's outside
of
the
never
speed. And there's
run.
I'm hoping she's the first one to call. She's going to be a decent enough price. I would imagine Snickett's going to take some money in here. I would imagine Secret Love's going to be short. Patty H is going to be short. I'm hoping she's the third or fourth choice. I had a tough time with the race. You obviously didn't.
Well, shit. I mean, I don't know. I make a case for this horse, but okay. As far as Sister Annie, I understand her last race. She's obviously slow. We'll show her last race at Keeneland. Cantermachis have an outstanding record off the claim. I'm going to show some numbers for Sister Annie, for their claims in dirt sprints. Their actually numbers are slightly better even than this if you look at Naira. It's a similar percent. But a higher ROI. Their numbers off the claim in dirt sprints are outstanding. And if you go back on this horse, she's got some figs in races that are okay. She ran in some reasonable races. I mean, she was on the lead in the Iowa Oaks against Army Wife. This is an interesting claim by them, I think. And I wonder if they thought this could be a good horse to have here in the winter. These guys are good off the claim. And I think this is a race that at first glance, you look at it and go, oh, 67 by her last time. This race doesn't hold up that well when you take it apart. Snicket, great ride by Trevor last time going the lead, but she can really only win the front end. She's not really a winning type. Everyone's loves Linda has to show speed. She looks like a different speed. I just don't think she's good enough. She's in a terrible off-the-turf race last time out. Patty H can definitely win. I didn't see Violent Vixen. I guess Secret Love could win. I'm not her biggest fan. I think she's just okay. And I think this is a horse that there's a reasonable chance this horse is going to improve and run to her better races, maybe her best race, which I think may be good enough to win here for the Cantermachis, who are good off the claim. I thought she was a very interesting claim by them. And I like the fact they claimed her and they waited and they're running her for a big, much higher price, which means they must be optimistic about her.
Okay.
Race number 7. One thing about race number 7, if somebody can find a replay to show for this race, you're a smarter man than me. Talk about Secret Thunder.
I took Danny's horse here. Danny Gargan ran this horse is off the double drop from 75 to 50 now in for the 32-month break. This horse did not get away from the gate. Well, had issues whether on her own or through others in her first 2 starts. I know I'm going to take the worst of it with a rad.
Well, wait a second. This horse came out at the start last time. That bumped hard break is a mislabeling of what happened. This horse created the contact.
That's what I said. She pretty much last time she got bothered. First time she kind of got hurted a little bit out of the starting gate. So she's had issues in both of her starts at the gate. But I mean, I had no idea where else to go in here.
I think there is a fairly obvious horse to go to, and she could clearly win this race, or he could win this race. This is a terrible field on paper. You've got a first-time starter, David Jacobson, who I don't remember him winning. You've got a first-time starter for our friend Patty Reynolds. He's got a rider. Who is this? We know this rider.
Clue.
Frederick Salvador.
No idea.
Not
a bug though.
Robbie Falcone with it. Well, probably an age thing.
Perhaps.
Probably an age thing. I mean, if you and I haven't heard of the guy, if you haven't heard of the guy, you're watching races at tracks that no one's ever heard of.
He's ridden a horse this year. I don't know where. He's 0 for 1.
You've got a $1,200 first-time starter for Robbie Falcone. So
Remember
it's
Mare? Mare was okay. Won 4 times.
by her in the 60s and 70s. She wasn't bad. It's the first fall from her, Peace and Justice. More of a turf influence, actually. It was a quick horse. It's funny with Two Chuckles. I was hoping when I watched this replay that there was somebody to take money in here, because I think this horse actually is interesting off that race. Ran against, excuse me, much better horses last time out. Claude,
You all right?
I need some water or something. My throat just got like completely full. But Claude's, I don't want to bother Claude. He's deep in thought over there. You don't want to comment on that. Anyhow, this horse broke a step slow last time. And watching the race, this horse kind of jumping up at the start. I think this horse is a little bit interesting in here to run a lot better second time out after facing a tough field. I like the 2, and I'm betting the 2 Tough Chuckles.
Okay.
And it's not like if I'm right and this horse can run a little bit, you found the right field.
There'll be no argument here for anybody.
This is some field on paper.
This is some heat.
Yeah. Race
You can't even bet your hunch. Storm Andy, scratch.
It's a shame. Otherwise, I was not betting.
All in, right?
I think I had him third. Race number 8.
Our special guest snuck in.
Yeah, I know. He's here. You can't let anybody know if he's here. It's a big secret. It's a big secret. Seriously, don't want anyone to know, because otherwise, I mean, they're all crowded around the TV. Race number 8.
Oh my God.
I think
he can't even go
race
get your
number
water.
8. You're doing one of two things in this race, and you're either betting on Gasoline or Curlin's Wisdom. Otherwise, you've got some idea that's just very hard to make on paper. As we look at Gasoline,
You hate money.
and well, it's hard.
It's hard to make a case for anybody else.
Somebody else could win, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna get some water while you
Go ahead,
talk
I'll
about
take care of
Gasoline.
So this is Gasoline, just airing on Saratoga Maidens 2 starts back. He comes with an 89 buyer figure, and truth be told, if he comes up with this race, he's gonna be right there along with Curlin's Wisdom today. He came back, same mile and an eighth, 2 turns here at the Belmont at the Big A meet, and he attended the pace. But quite frankly, I don't know how you feel about this, Andy. I don't think he ran well at all last time.
Yeah, I completely disagree with you.
Really?
I think it's a very poor judgment, but
Okay.
that was
Thank you. I
a
appreciate
track
that.
that was, well, I think it is. That was a track that was extremely kind to horses with speed. Deep closers on the outside. And this horse was the inside speed and was involved in a pace that completely collapsed, and he actually finished third. I thought he actually ran very well last time. I think his race last time is much better than his maiden win. I don't trust this horse, but I thought his last race was very, very good. And that's why I can pick him. Now listen, Curlin's Wisdom ran well last time. He got a perfect trip. He got a superb ride from Jose Lezcano. But this is a horse that's improving for Linda Rice. Show his last race.
I think he's improving with distance as well.
Yeah, I just think he's an improving horse, period. Which is interesting to improve with distance, because it seemed like Mott was wrong running him longer earlier. So maybe he's just a horse that's just growing up at the right time.
Yep, he's maturing. I think the distance has helped. His pedigree tells you his distance is supposed to help him, and now it's finally starting to help him.
Yeah, maybe he's just a horse that just took time to get his act together,
That's
to
all.
be fair.
And listen, he's had enough chances, right? This is going to be his 14th start, and he's kind of just, run him at the finish. He's missed a board just twice in his career, just once this year, and he's never been worse than 4th.
And I'll say something else about him. I think his career started about 4 races ago. I almost feel like a lot of those races, he's just a different horse.
Since the turf, what's funny? Since the 2 turf races this year, he's really just turned into a different horse. When he's getting back to the dirt, he's turned into a different horse.
He's really got his act together.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. And he ran well. I'm not against him. I mean, to me, the other horse that I would use is Perceived. I don't have any confidence Perceived can run at all anymore.
That's the
Don't get me
problem.
wrong. His last couple races were awful, but I know somewhere in there he has races that can win this.
And it's not that far back.
Very hard to make the number 8.
It's
Uncle
3-4 months
Waterflow
ago.
is impossible to make, even though he ran okay last time. I guess you could say that I Am the Law is improving, but I mean, I know Patient Capital did come back and run a big figure. I'll tell you something else about Shipsational. I don't think this horse wants to go long.
Well,
So that's even if I thought Shipsational could still run, and I'm going to tell you something. There's a very big argument that unfortunately
He
he
can't
cannot
anymore.
run at all
You're not
anymore.
wrong.
And as you know, I've been a big fan of this
You're
horse,
not
and I
wrong.
always want to see Eddie do well. But I don't think this is a mile and eighth horse anyway. I think this horse ran respectably in those races at Tampa, and because those races were phony.
I think he brought this horse back way too quick off the layoff in 3 weeks last time. So I'm willing to forgive it a little bit. If we have to put 4 picks on the screen.
No,
if we
I
didn't,
get it.
If we didn't, I would have put 7-2 on there and just kept repeating.
And I guess Bold Victory, he likes the distance. We'll see he does off the claim from Linda, but he's going to have to improve to win. But I mean, to be fair to him, he lost to a Mitch Friedman horse last time, so he's probably up for an Eclipse Award. Because I mean, Mitch doesn't, he doesn't lose.
Yeah, my boy Healing.
I am actually seriously 3 for 3 in the last 4 months picking Mitch. That made in Saratoga. You are 0 for 47 picking Mitch.
That's incorrect.
You are 0 for 47 picking Mitch
Incorrect.
since last December. Yeah, no, I've tracked.
I had the 2-win day last year. I had all
I
those
said those were
last
December.
year.
That was December.
Oh,
I
it was
said since December.
No, that's incorrect.
Since December.
I picked Healing.
How many races has he won since December?
We talked about this the other day. There was 11?
No, 6.
No, the one was 4-1, and at least 2 stats were at least 4 and 4.
Okay, once again, he's won 6 races since last December. Even the mystery man knows the number 6. And that includes yesterday. That includes yesterday. And includes Healing.
You picked Carragate yesterday. Congratulations. Are you sure it's only 6?
Your man over there is telling it 6. He's telling it 6, and you're
He's the president of the fan club, so I'm not even
No. He's a recruiter. You're the president now. You've moved in. He recruits. He has a mission to make a fool of you, and you're doing a heck of a job. Congratulations. You've done very well. I mean, believe me, you had the right material to work with. You had the right material to work with.
Let's finish this
I know,
up.
you got the show you want to finish it up.
I got places to go.
But you don't have anywhere to
People
go. You have nothing going on at all.
Let's go.
You have absolutely nothing going.
It's
Actually,
the Cigar
the
Mile
most interesting
weekend.
race in the card is coming up.
No question
Ninth race is a
about it.
really fun race, and I was glad that the scratches. I mean, Colby Potsy could have won. He was a player near, obviously, first deputy was in a little bit tough in this spot. We can move to race number 9, please. Number 9.
I know you don't want it to end, guys, but we got to move on to race number 9.
So, who's the horse to beat in here?
If you're going to put the proverbial gun to my head,
I don't know how the answer to this.
I would probably say Quick Return.
Let's show us replay. You know,
I
you
mean,
really
I
you
think
didn't
you
even know the
I
replays,
didn't.
and you did it perfectly.
But
Let's
that's
show.
kinda
This
who
is
it
2
is,
back
right?
for him. You know, I'm not sure. Anthony, I didn't ask the question
He's won,
having an answer.
he's won 3 of his
I
last
don't know the
5
answer.
races, and the rest of these horses haven't won.
He did
3.
stink
Now
last
it's Colby
time, but he was
Potsy out.
over his head, and they got aggressive off the claim, and I respect Bruce a great deal. The thing is, though, with
You
Bronx
wanna run
Bomber in
once-
here and Gandy
Sorry to
Dancing,
interrupt.
he could be in a tough spot from a pace standpoint.
You want to run him one time. And I scratched into him for 4th, so I think he'll take some money. And I think he's a vulnerable possible favorite.
I think they're all vulnerable.
You
there.
have to kind of run him in that race last time. When you claim him for the
No,
quarter,
and I get
you're
a big
not.
fig.
When you claim him for 20, you're not going to run him for a quarter. You want to try and take a shot.
Got a big fig. I get it.
You know what I mean?
And Gandy Dancing is a funny horse.
Because he's off that one big fig in Saratoga.
Right. We'll show that race. Now, Gemography runs 3rd. This was before Rudy got Gemography. And we'll let Anthony talk about Gemography, who I agree with you is a major player in this
Yeah.
race. When Gandy Dancing won this race, he was probably one of the biggest day news to
Bet
me.
off the screen.
I remember Dan Silver texted me in the morning after the horse, and he said Gandy Dancing. I think it was him or Nick, maybe both of them, saying he's a huge workout horse.
He was 7
And I remember
to
you
2.
texted me after the race and said, how did they know that Gandy Dancing was going to win? I said he was a big workout horse, and he was working great. Claimed by Rob, you know he's got the good races that can win it, but I don't have any confidence in this guy.
No.
Just because Rob claimed it doesn't mean he's going to move forward.
See, I don't have anything definitive on this, and he was terrible in
Also,
the
IRAD, so he's going to be overbet.
He was terrible in the subsequent start, but that was on a wet track. I also think this horse might be a little bit better in Saratoga. This horse has won some races upstate, if I'm not mistaken. Listen, he can win, obviously. I put him 2nd. It's first time Rob. But, I mean,
he can win.
Yeah, he can win.
Listen, there's enough pace in here that I double shot. A horse that I have fourth and you have third
Yeah,
can get
absolutely.
up. And I think less distance is better for him cutting back. So why don't you
Coming
talk
back a little
about
quick.
geography?
He's coming back in 2 weeks, but yes, I think double shot is definitely a player in here. Gemography.
A lot of players in there.
Yeah, I think the cutback is obviously huge for Gemography. I don't think he wants to go a step past 7 furlongs.
His win's a little phony, though.
His win's a little phony because
I thought about putting him on top. So don't get me wrong.
He got the coast on the front end. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, it was a bad field. He went to the front.
He beat Al Cool.
Caught everybody's napping in there.
But he's run well from off the pace.
Yep, and he's got back races
And he's
that
got
are very
back
good,
races.
and maybe Rudy can find
He's cutting back.
I thought of picking him on top. I'm not one of the reasons I put him on top. I saw you put him on top, and I thought, we don't need to pick the same horse in the same race. He can win. Listen,
a race like that, we certainly don't need to pick the same horse in a race like
Microscope, totally impossible in this
this.
race.
I don't like him, but you can build a case for him, sure.
I'm not going to like him.
You can
He hasn't run in
absolutely
9 months.
You can absolutely build a case
He's
for
not
him.
exactly a high percentage rider, but having said that, this guy's got nothing but races that can win this race.
Yeah.
I'm not saying. Let me put it this way: when he wins this race and pays, $31, you're going to say, "Geez, I'm shocked."
Yeah.
Durkin's Call. I get that people are going to look at Durkin's Call and say, "Well, I mean, he beat a 10-claimer field. He couldn't, and in 3-1, he was the overlay of the century. He was 7 and 8 to 5 in every CAW pool." He's better going shorter, and he's going to get pace to run at. And his last couple of races showed that he's actually refound some of his better form.
He's been good since the little break.
And
He's been good since the
when he's
little
in
break.
good form, he's good enough to compete here. And originally, I looked at him and said, "No, he beat that terrible field for 10,000 last time. That this is." I don't know. I'm not so sure he doesn't fit. And I think a lot of people are going to see 1 for 10, and they're going to say he's just too cheap. And he's not too cheap for these. Not if he's in reasonable form. And his last race is good enough to compete here. I thought his price would be a little bit better. But listen, like I said, I think Quick Return can win here. I think Double Shot can win. I think Andy Dancing can win. I think Microscope can win. I think Gemography can win. And I think he can win. So
There are 2 instances on the card where he comes back this quickly. One time he ran well. One time he ran awfully. So the jury's out.
He's moving
that.
him up off a short rest. That
Well, he's
can't be
striking
viewed
while
as a
the
negative.
I would agree with that.
Can't
He's kind
be
of
viewed as a
striking while the
negative.
iron's hot. And when you claim a horse like Durkin's Call, these are the races I think you have in mind. You claim him for 10. You know the state-bred quarters there. You know the 2X with the 45 tags there with the big pots. This is why you don't claim him to run him back for 10 in 32
You don't think he's
days.
running in the Holly Hughes?
All I'm saying is, for a horse that
So
ordinarily
you
has
do or
his-
don't think he's going?
I
Anthony,
don't know what
please,
to
I'm
do.
trying to concentrate. There's
For
something
what-
very exciting going on
for
over
what-
that TV right now. There's a very it's very big day.
For a horse that usually has 5-6 weeks between races, I don't know what to do with him off the short break, off 2 weeks. That's all I'm saying. He normally has 5, 6, 7 weeks. There's a 2-month break. There's a 3-month break. I don't know what to do with him. You're
Understood.
enthralled with this thing, huh? This is new. Oh, this is all new stuff.
I think they hired the guy that I think Inaratu directed that. Anyhow, head on over to Naira
What a
Bets
place,
if you're
man.
not a member.
What a place.
Unbelievable. Right away they go to that. Beautiful.
There it is. Yep. Go get all you can eat, baby.
Use the promo code MATCH200. Head over to NairaBets.com. We will match the $200 of your initial deposit. It's last year's Cigar Mile winner, American Revolution. Middle pick 4, begins in race 3. Middle pick 4 in race 3. 2, 3, and 6 for the pick 4s today.
Yep.
10% on all the trifectas bonus. I opted in to that. Get involved. We have Cigar Mile Challenge till 5 o'clock today. $3,000 buy-in. All cash prizes. We're seeing the pool with an extra $5,000. You play it online or on track. Play it through Naira Bets, or come out and visit us for Cigar Mile Day. It'll be an autographing session. We got mystery guests signed up for that. We have one today. Tomorrow is Toys for Tots Day, so bring toys. You can also make a cash contribution if you'd like. For the kids, Marines will be here for that. Always a fun day, good thing to support. And last but not least, America's Day at the Races. Tampa and Aqueduct today.
Ooh.
It's actually a good maiden race. The 7th at Tampa is a very interesting turf maiden race.
TBD.
A lot of stuff going on there.
Tampa Bay Down. It's also a great. TBD is also a great live song. One of my favorite bands from the '90s live. TBD is the name of the song. It's a great song. Okay. You'll never listen to it, but you guys should. Whole album's great. Throwing Copper.
Live, they
favorite
couldn't
album.
come up with a more
I don't know
good
what to
name.
tell you, buddy.
They couldn't come with something.
They had a name before Live, but they did well.
Apparently it didn't
They
work.
were just at the Paramount out in Huntington.
Are they still live or are they now dead? Well, they were the Paramount in Huntington.
The guitarist got thrown out of the band, but they're all right. They're good. I've seen them probably 75 times. Either as a full band or with Ed Kowalczyk, the lead singer, on his own.
I think he got Claude interested. He seems to be
Absolutely not.
getting more involved in the show. Anyway, we're done. Have a great day. Johnny I just getting started. He will be up in the reprise, Scratched and Changed, in just a moment. Have a wonderful day. See you later.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Hello, racing fans, and once again, welcome to Aqueduct.